Hello out there, you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for joining me for another Gamers Thoughts discussion. And this time I'm going to be talking about the Super Mario 35th anniversary, which I haven't really done a proper discussion for as of yet. First things first, I want to get out the way because this is probably one of the bigger levels of complaint that people have, and I figure I would touch on it and just, move it along. Super Mario 3D All-Stars only has 3 games. It has Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. Now, granted, I do understand why Nintendo put those 3 games on there, because those were probably the most popular of their 3D titles, or at least the most highly requested. Because me, as a gamer, I'm like, hold on, why didn't they put Super Mario 64 DS on there? Because that game could have used analog, which it didn't have. Then there's Super Mario Galaxy 2, which, in many people's opinion, is better than the first game. And sometimes it's vice versa, it just depends on the person. By the way, it was still a very good title. And it ran on the exact same engine as Super Mario Galaxy. So for me, I would look at those games and be like, why weren't those added into the collection? Because you would think that they would be. But then if that is done, you would also have to take it a step further and say, well, why couldn't they put Super Mario 3D Land in there? Because they already have Super Mario 3D World as its own separate title with actual additional content. A lot of people would be asking those questions because that would be a very decent collection of games that people would have happily picked up. But I think it's just the situation at Nintendo right now. They were just looking for what was best and cost effective for them, and what worked out for what a lot more people have requested. But unfortunately, that might mean that, hey, a game that a lot of people would want kind of got overlooked. And that could be the situation. But, I mean, it's not something I can sit there and be angry and agitated about. It's just what it is. That's how the ball rolled, how the cookie crumbled. It's just how they have things set up. I mean, for me, this is the same as the situation when they released, or when they shown off New Super Mario Bros. Wii U Deluxe, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. And I sat there and thought about it. I was like, y'all could have done New Super Mario Bros., New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and New Super Mario Bros. 2, along with New Super Mario Bros. U, along with the New Super Luigi U stuff, all together in one package, but you didn't. Because all those games run in the same engine. Just the home console versions of the games were multiplayer, whereas the handheld weren't. Or they were multiplayer, but in a different way. Now, me personally, that would have been an opportunity, as far as I'm concerned, to add back in the functionality for the first New Super Mario Bros., where you could play through the game with Mario and Luigi completely together, as well as having the battle mode. But they didn't do it, and it's just based on what they deem necessary and what resources they feel work out for them. Simple as that. Now, I already mentioned it, Super Mario 3D World is getting ported over, and it's getting an additional content with Bowser's I completely forgot the name of it. But you know what? I can't even be ticked off. I find that to be acceptable because they're not just porting the game and just porting it as is, they're adding stuff to it. So, I mean, it's worthwhile at that point. Like, people who already have it may be looking like, okay, well, shoot, I get that extra stuff if I get it again. And on top of that, be like, hey, not as many people have Wii U's as the people that have Nintendo Switches. So, while, yeah, I think they should have to miss out on some stuff, hey, the game was ported, and it's not like this game necessarily needed the gamepad for anything outside of blowing into the mic to find those hidden coins, and for some levels because it used the gyro. But still, you could implement all that in the Switch by itself. So there's not really much of a need. Like, to get those coins, they can always add in implement something else to do it. So, not really a big deal for the most part. I mean, yeah, and there were certain game mechanics that worked with the mic blowing thing, but it's not necessary. There's other ways to simulate it. Then there's Super Mario 35, which is basically the Mario Battle Royale game. I think that concept is pretty cool. Now, what I don't like, and this the same thing with Super Mario 3D All-Stars, is that it's a limited run thing where after a certain point it's gonna be gone. But I think for this there may be a different reason for it. It's not like this something that they're just tossing out. It may simply be that they may be converting the game to something else, or they may be doing something else with it, and that's what I hope. Because the idea of tossing that concept just doesn't make much sense to me. But who knows? Nintendo has done things that haven't made sense to me for a while. The thing is, whether they do or don't keep Super Mario 35, or if maybe after a certain amount of time they make it Super Mario 99. I like the concept of the game being able to run through levels, and the better you are at a level, the more obstacles you throw into your opponent's way. That sounds like a lot of fun. And I would be totally cool with that. Like, doing that as a regular thing, I'd be up for that all the time. But again, that's Nintendo's choice. Like, unfortunately, I don't have any say at the company. But hey, it is what it is. It's what they're doing, and they know certain things like having a limited run of a game is going to draw more attention to it. So, I'm perfectly fine with it. I'm definitely up for it. Then there is Super Mario Kart Live, which I am like super ecstatic about. That they have this coming out. And I was listening to a friend of mine, listened to a podcast he does, and the idea was talked about by somebody, one of the people I know on there. And I was like, you know what? I was thinking the exact same thing that they could do with this. And that's to bundle Super Mario Live with the toy and with the Switch Lite. Like with a special cased version of the Switch Lite. Or like, one that matches the car that you got with it. Like, so you can have a Mario, an MK Live Mario themed Switch Lite, and an MK Live Luigi themed Switch Lite. Which I'm like, that's actually pretty ingenious, because right before the holiday they can drop that and say, yeah, this bundle is out here for $250, $275. Anybody wants it, they go ahead and get it. Or they could just bundle it at $300. Make it the same as the base price of the price of the base Switch, the regular Switch. Because we all know that the $200 price point is so that people can get like their kids into it, or people who aren't going to be playing on the television at all are going to be using it. So again, it's a genius idea. And it'd be a good way to make extra money. Heck, they might even do regular Switch themed bundles. Regular Switch bundles with Joy-Cons that are themed the same way. Again, both ideas make a lot of sense when you think about it. It's something that would work very well. And I could see them making a lot of cash off of it. But that would be up to Nintendo to do it. Like, and that is something I do think that they will do. I am more than willing to say I think that they would go ahead and make that happen. But I mean, at this point, Mario is so iconic, and I get why people will complain about pricing of certain things. Mario is an extremely iconic character. He has a lot of clout. There are people who aren't gamers who know who Super Mario is. That's why Nintendo can do what they do with him. People may not understand that, but honestly, it's the same thing when it comes down to clothing. When people will go out and spend 30, 40, 50 bucks on a pair of jeans that are ripped and torn, when they could go get a cheaper pair of jeans that are just as durable and strong as the pair that they have, that they paid for, they're already pre-cut, and just do it themselves, which is something that people used to actually do. That's why that style became popular. That's why it's being sold as a fashion statement. And it's like people don't want to apply that logic across to other things, but it's the same logic. Especially when you know what the product is and you know how good the product is. Yeah, it's just what they're able to do because of their branding. It's a simple thing to understand, and it's like people don't want to understand that. But I'm trying to think, is there any other announcements for Mario that we don't know, that came out of that I didn't really talk about? I mean, because that Nintendo Direct was kind of heavy-handed on the Super Mario stuff. But I don't really know. Now, well, there is one other point I want to discuss, because I know this was something that came along with the Super Mario 3D collection, the Super Mario 3D All-Stars thing that everybody's agitated about, and it's that people thought that Nintendo were going to be remastering the games into the Super Mario Odyssey engine. Honestly, if they were going to do that, then they would have just made DLC packages for the Odyssey engine, which honestly wouldn't have been a bad idea. But let's keep it real. If they were going to do that, those DLC packs are probably going to be no less than $20 anyway. So you'd still be paying the same price for it. Whereas now it's like $20 per game. If they did that, it'd be $20 per DLC package. And I do think that they would do that. Like, yeah, they try to keep the prices low for people to buy into it. And they may give like a bundled selection together. Like you pay $45, you get all three. But if you were going to individually buy them, it would have been probably like $60 together. But again, that's just my view of things, my thoughts and opinion. But there's not really anything else to talk about with this subject, so I'm going to go ahead and end this here. But thank you, everybody, for giving me your time and listening in. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me. And until the next time, please enjoy your games and peace out.